Welcome to my next franchise ranking video. As last night I was able to check out Final Destination Bloodlines, and since I've watched all the movies in the franchise in the last week, it is now time to rank them in order from my least favorite movie of the franchise to my favorite movie of the franchise. But before I do that though, extremely important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am in watching every single movie in the Final Destination franchise, including Final Destination Bloodlines, then I highly recommend that you don't watch this video any further because this video will contain spoilers. I can't talk about these films unless I can talk about spoilers. It's as simple as that, and obviously this video is going to be my opinion. We're not going to all agree, especially my take for 5th place. A lot of you would have 5th place a little bit higher. Me, I have it low on the list. It's my opinion. And obviously, I like to do ranking videos. So if you like any of the ranking videos that are on this channel, at the end of this video, I'll put some franchise ranking videos that I've done, like Saw and Scream and other ones, and come back to the channel next week because I'll be re-ranking the Mission Impossible franchise because I will be watching Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning. I'm not sure when the video will come out. Maybe Friday night, Saturday morning, or at the latest on Sunday. So make sure you come back to the channel for all that stuff. And if you like ranking videos and anything else that I do on this channel, such as Dexter content, Walking Dead content, or UFC fight reaction videos, then help me out with the algorithm and Hulk smash the like button. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on my ranking of the Final Destination franchise. What is your ranking of the franchise? How crazy is my ranking? Again, it's my opinion. We're probably going to disagree. Just know that ahead of time. And anything that you want to see me rank on this channel. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel. Help me get over 100,000 subscribers. Yes, I know I set my goals high. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV. It's also important to note that some of these entries of this franchise, my opinions could change on. Once we get another Final Destination movie, which is likely to happen within the next 2 to 5 years, it's possible I might come around on some of these, and then some of the ones that hold a place in my heart, I might have more to complain about watching them again, because I always rewatch everything when I do a ranking video, because that's the way to do it, because my opinion definitely changes, especially for TV show seasons and franchise ranking videos. So just keep that in mind. And some of these entries in this franchise, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about because there's not a lot to talk about with some of these. So I might move through some of these a little bit quicker than others. So just keep that in mind. But starting the ranking off, coming in 6th place, the worst movie in this franchise, in my opinion, is going to be, well, no surprise to any of you probably, The Final Destination. First of all, let's build as the Final Destination, but since it did so well at the box office, I don't know why, word of mouth that the movie is terrible, it did so good that they said, we gotta make another one, so they did Final Destination 5, but I just found this, I should mention also, this was mostly a first-time watch for me. I thought I'd never seen any of this entry in the franchise, but then the theater premonition, I saw that at some point. I don't know why I saw it or how I saw it. Maybe it was on the pay channel one day and I just didn't flick the channel quick enough or something like that. But I remember seeing some of it, which I did not know that I had saw until I popped it in this week for the very first time. But it's directed by David Ellis, which I didn't know. He, of course, did the second Final Destination film, which, what a change, because Final Destination 2 is one of the better entries in this franchise. I guess that's spoiling some of my ranking. And then we get this clusterfuck. Now, as far as worst movies in the franchise, does this stack up against all the other worst movies in horror franchises like Jason Takes Manhattan, Halloween Resurrection, Seed of Chucky, Freddy's Dead, Scream 3? Well, Scream 3 is actually really good compared to some terrible entries, but I don't know if it's that bad. It depends. I mean, I don't know if it's that bad. I don't know what my opinion will be when I rewatch the entry. But it's not very good. You have a racetrack crash premonition that was terrible, bad CGI. You have very unmemorable characters in this entry. You have no William Buttsworth in this, no Tony Todd at all, not even as a voice role. You also get the weak character development in this. I should say you don't get any character development. In my opinion, they're all bad characters. I don't really like any of them. Mostly lackluster kills, although, and I must say, I watched Cody Leach's recent Final Destination, all his ranking or all his review videos. I was going to say this myself, but I will say that one of the highlights of this entry, and I have one more highlight, was the fake out kill in the car wash. That was actually pretty good. That was the only part in this entry where I actually felt tension, and it was a good fake out. Of course, that character, yeah, we know what happens to that character, but that was good. I also like the premonition scene of when the chick is on the escalator. I kind of like that as well. That was one of the things I thought that was cool, but then it really didn't end up happening, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And you got the scene where the guy is like, his ass is stuck to the bottom of the swimming pool. What was that? I mean, I don't even know if that's really creative. That's just that's the best that you could do. Bear with me here. I'm trying to watch something else as I'm recording this. But that was just kind of dumb. I felt like there should have been more done to that character randomly than this drowning in a pool and then having your ass explode and everything come flying up. I don't know. Another dumb ending in this franchise. I'll say the Final Destination franchise, for the most part, has weak endings or everybody's good, and then all of a sudden there's one more scene where everybody ends up dying or somebody ends up dying. So I didn't like that. And then you have them, like the ending where the main character is like, wait a minute, what if this has like another thought? And I don't know, it just didn't make much sense to me. The other good thing about this entry in this franchise is that it's not very long. It's like an hour and 22 minutes, so it was easy to get through, I guess. It's not like a 2.5 hour movie or even a 2 hour movie, so it was an easy watch. I'm sorry I didn't have much good to say about this entry, but that's why The Final Destination is my least favorite, coming in sixth place. Well, I'm about to stir up some controversy, and T. Parker Evans is going to cancel me, because coming in fifth place for me is going to be Final Destination 3. My opinion. This is actually directed by James Wong, who did the first Final Destination, and I did see this one when it came out in the theater in 2006, and I didn't like it then either. I believe I was upset that Officer Burke and Kimberly didn't return. The only person that we got back was Tony Todd's voice for, 10 seconds or less, so that was all we got of that. And it does have no, named people in it. It has Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who I like in Live Free or Die Hard, and Ryan Merriman in it. And everybody says that Mary Elizabeth Winstead is like the best, does the best in this franchise, like is everybody's favorite character. I don't think she's bad, but I don't think she acts better than anybody else. She doesn't stand out to me. Maybe I'm missing something, but that's just my observation. I think the roller coaster premonition should have been much better than it was, and to me, it really didn't do much of anything. I think there's better opening premonitions than this one. So I do like the tanning salon kills. I thought that was pretty cool, and it's always good to see boobies as well. And I have trouble remembering things about this entry in the franchise, and I don't know. I think it's just overhyped. Again, my opinion could change in a few years or 5 years, whenever they come out with another movie, because they're going to come out with another movie. Maybe I'll fall in love with it, but at the moment, unfortunately, for all of you that love this entry in the franchise, Final Destination 3 only comes in fifth place for me. Coming in fourth place, which may upset some of you as well, is going to be the newest entry in this franchise, Final Destination Bloodlines. It's directed by Zach Sopowski and Adam Stein. Never heard of them before. It's got a cool opening. It's not the best in the franchise. T. Parker Evans would disagree, I think. But it was okay. It introduces the interesting bloodline concept, but unfortunately that doesn't work. The movie focuses on a penny too long, so it's like this cursed penny. You have uninteresting characters aside from the character of Eric, played by Richard Harmon, who was Murphy in The 100. Check that out if you haven't. First 5 seasons of that show, pretty solid. I think it has 2 more seasons after that. I don't remember them being awesome. Maybe one of them was okay, but good show anyway. Decent kills in this movie. A lot of CGI stuff, but I didn't mind it. You have Tony Todd's final appearance and a good send-off to that character. It was tear-jerking. I didn't tear up, but certainly I wanted to applaud, but nobody else in my theater did. Well, actually, I was the only one seeing a 3 p.m. showing, the first showing available. Nobody else was in my theater. That was a little shocking to me, but a great send-off to the character of William Bloodsworth. I knew that he was going to end up being that JV character. That was too obvious. I saw that right away. And what made me kind of mad is he actually mentions the character of Kimberly Corman from Final Destination 2, and I thought that maybe she would come back in this entry and be a surprise, because then I'd be really excited, but no, she doesn't come back, and I was left disappointed, but I shouldn't have been disappointed because I didn't really think it was going to happen, but I had hope for a second or two, and then they just kept showing this penny, this cursed penny, and it annoyed me. And then you have the main character, and I don't remember the character names other than the Eric character, the brother and sister combination. They're not interesting at all, in my opinion. I'll just say it. Maybe they're not going to come back for another movie, actually, because they die at the end of the movie, but I don't know. I didn't like the ending all that much. I thought this had some good points and some bad points. It's kind of middle of the road for me. I did score it a 3.5 out of 5. It might be a little bit more towards 3 out of 5, but it is enjoyable to a degree. But unfortunately, it only falls in 4th place for me. In 3rd place for me is going to be Final Destination 5. Directed by Stephen Quayle. Now, going into this entry in the franchise, I knew the ending ahead of time. I heard about the ending like 10 years ago or something like that, and I did watch the ending scene a long time ago. And I thought this was my first time watching the rest of the movie, but some of the scenes I had seen before. I don't remember when or how I saw them, but apparently I did see some of this entry before. I liked the whole opening bridge premonition. I thought that was really cool. I think the main leads in this entry weren't that solid, in my opinion. Some of you might disagree with that statement, and that's okay. I thought some of the supporting cast was actually entertaining, like the PJ Byrne character, and then you have the guy that was the bus driver, Rob something. They were people that I know, and I thought they were cool. And then you have the guy that was in Friday the 13th, 2009. I liked his character. Unfortunately, he doesn't do that well in this movie. Well, he does well in the end, which the twist ending I thought was okay. It was a good way to end it. It's probably one of the better endings, actually, if you think about it. But then you kill the character of Nathan off in the after scene after that. But it does have some decent kills, and it's pretty good. It's nothing super awesome, but I did enjoy it, and that's why Final Destination 5 is my number 3. The Final Destination movie that comes in 2nd place for me is going to be Final Destination 2. Directed by David Ellis, a good entry in the franchise that he directs. Unlike the Final Destination, I saw this in the theater, and that opening accident scene premonition was awesome. The whole log truck thing, that was well done, in my opinion. You have some really cool side characters in this entry in the franchise, like Eugene. Kat, I think, is awesome. Most might disagree with that. And, of course, Rory was freaking awesome. He stole the show. You have some cool deaths for Nora, Rory, and Kat. Although Nora's death with the whole hook thing wasn't cool, but the elevator decapitating her because of the hooks, that was really awesome. But how dare they kill Alex Browning off screen? I am not a fan of off-screen deaths. Hannah McKay, Dexter Newblood, drives me nuts. And then they also committed a cardinal sin in this entry by killing off Claire, played by Ali Wattar, at the end of the movie. Did not see that one coming. I think her death wasn't that great. Her and Eugene, they did them characters wrong, but killing off Claire, I can't believe they killed off Claire in this film. I don't know why they did it, because I was not happy about that. I really liked the movie until that point in it. And then the main characters in this entry, Officer Burke and Kimberly, weren't really that interesting, in my opinion. They're not terrible, but they're not interesting either. So, unfortunately, I really like it, but it has to come in second place for the second movie in the franchise. So, by process of elimination, you already know what my favorite entry in the Final Destination franchise is, and that, of course, would be Final Destination, the original, directed by James Wong, with Devon Sawa, Ali Larter, Kerr Smith, Sean William Scott, Tony Todd, and Daniel Roebuck. I like the whole opening premonition and the terror that we see on Alex Browning's face. Maybe it's due to the nostalgia of seeing this one first and the first of the franchise. And I tend to like sequels. Scream 2, Friday the 13th Part 4, The Final Chapter, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I like sequels, but unfortunately, Part 2 only comes in second place for me. I thought Mrs. Luton's death was pretty awesome, even though she was kind of an unlikable character when she told Alex that he scares the hell out of her. But there's like so many random things that happen during that whole scene with Mrs. Luton, and then the knives and all that. It was pretty badass for then. I thought that was pretty awesome. Now they go overboard with some of the deaths, but I liked her death scene. The jump scare with Terry Cheney's death was great with the bus. And the third act is actually good in this, and that it ends with you thinking that maybe Alex is dead. And then we get some reshoots where he's alive, but then they have to kill Carter off. So not that the reshoots were bad, but I think it took away from this entry just a little bit. And, well, we get Ali Larter as a blonde, which I absolutely love her as a blonde. So while there's negatives, there's also positives. But it's a good entry in the franchise. I feel like Tony Todd's character is just kind of thrown in there. But now that we get Final Destination Bloodlines, and we also have the prequel of Final Destination 5, his character makes more sense in the other movies a little bit, but I thought he was underutilized in this entry. But I like it a lot. It's possible that at some point my opinion could change when I learn more about these entries, and maybe I rewatch them a few more times. We shall see. But at the moment, like I said, Final Destination from 2000 is my favorite entry in the franchise. So what are your thoughts? If you're a fan of the Final Destination franchise or ranking videos in general and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about where your thoughts are on my ranking of the Final Destination franchise. Are you in agreement with T. Parker Evans that I should be canceled for my opinion on Final Destination 3 and probably Final Destination Bloodlines? Make sure you leave your ranking in the comment section as well. And remember, I do lots of different rankings, so check out some of these that I'll put at the end of this video. And if you like Dexter, The Walking Dead, or UFC fight reactions, make sure you come back to the channel. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. You're watching the video anyway. Help me get over 100,000 subscribers. Yes, I know. I set my goals really high. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.